Hello, my friends. Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know in the chat and in the comments that you're here. My name is Ryan, and I'm here today, and I've got a really, really cool guest. And I'm going to bring that guest out, and that guest is somebody that's absolutely going to blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Sharpe. Dave, how you doing today, brother?
Good, my brother. Good. I expected a bit of a drum roll, but we can work on that. You know what I mean? Fireworks, explosions, things of that nature. But we'll get better. I'm here, brother. I'm happy it's Friday, and I've heard that we've got a little fun we're gonna have.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of fun we're going to have. I've got a game that we've never done this before. I don't know how it's going to go. We're going to see what happens. We're just kind of winging it here. But we're going to play a game of Would You Rather, the marketing edition. And I've got a lot of not stupid and ridiculous, but I think thought-provoking and hard to answer Would You Rather questions on this. Let me share my screen so you can see it. This little picker wheel here, and it's got a beautiful little Winn-Dixie ad at the top, and I'm going to hit this spin button, and it's going to ask us a question, and we're going to see if we can answer it. So you ready? You want me to do the first spin right now?
Let's go, brother. Never played this game before, so I'm very excited to see what we got.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Looks like we're going to land right about there. So would you rather have 100% control over your business or partner with someone who could take it to 10x the level, but you only own 50% of it?
Ooh. How about you in the, I would like to hear, as I'm thinking of my response, what you guys would do in the comments. I'd love to see everybody give their answer in the comments while I'm thinking through mine and giving mine. Anne Marie says, hard one, true. Let me give you my perspective here. I've had business partners. I've had bad experiences with business partners to the point to where, you know, I really realized that being in business with somebody, meaning that you own the same company, you both own shares in the same corporation. It's like you're married to the person. That's what I didn't realize. That's what I didn't know, was that I was essentially married to my business partner. That means that I am basically liable for everything that they do. If I want out of the relationship, it's much more complicated. And as a matter of fact, I did want out of the relationship. A former business partner of mine went through a difficult time in his personal life, and I did choose to exit because I didn't feel like he was taking all of our lives into consideration. Regardless, my point is that I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel good. I wanted to get out, and it was difficult. Similar to a marriage, right? Similar to a marriage. Most important decision that you'll ever make is who you marry, or who you're with romantically and intimately. The second most important decision you'll ever make, I think, is along this lines. If you're going to be a business owner, how are you going to navigate that, right? How are you going to navigate that? How are you going to deal with situations when they become difficult? This is obviously the secret to every relationship, right? And a business partnership is no different. So anyways, I see a lot have been burned in the past. So 100%. I see a lot. Never again will I partnership. 50% of nothing is nothing. 50% of 500K is not nothing. Partnership is tough though. It is. Again, I don't have, so let me also tell you what my alternative would be, right? To not partnering, but because it's almost like the question is posed as, if you don't have a partner, you can't experience growth. And that's not my experience. My experience is there's ways to take the most impactful people in your company and create bonus structures, bonus plans, profit sharing, things of that nature, where there's a lot of, there's a lot of incentive in people also still have motivation to want to show up And so for a lot of you who are, solopreneurs is what I kind of like to call us, or you, if you're just one person in a business, that doesn't mean that you still can't have impactful people that you work with and that work for you. And a lot of times, especially a privately held business, the equity in the company may not actually be something that's super attractive. It might not be worth anything in terms of when you go to sell the company. For example, I have my best bud owns a windshield company, and he merged his business in with another business. Anyways, that particular business is ones that a windshield replacement business is not something that has a ton of value in it, because there's not a ton of reoccurring subscription. You have to kind of eat what you kill every month, and that's sort of a sales term. Like you eat whatever you make that month, and then you start over at zero again the next month. The only businesses that are really worth anything are businesses that have reoccurring revenue, that have something really, really important, or some important piece of technology that can grow into something really profitable, or something like a social media platform or an app that has a lot of free users that can be monetized. But you'll see a lot of businesses out here in the marketplace, both brick and mortar and online, that you would think, oh, that's a valuable business. It would be awesome to be a partner in that business. But actually, the business is not worth anything. If they went to try to go sell it, nobody would buy the business. And so now you say, well, would I rather be an equity partner, or would I rather have a profit sharing plan to where I still get profit as an employee, but I don't take on the liability of ownership in the company? If something happens to the company, I'm not liable. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't really think about when they're starting a business, coming into a business, partnering with somebody else. Everybody always looks at the upside, as the question was posed. Partner with somebody and earn 10 times more. But also, what's the liability? What's the risk on that money that you're going to make? Maybe a lot of times in this particular situation, again, you save the headaches, you save the marital, potentially divorce problems in the business. You take your most impactful people, you cut them into a profit sharing plan, and you build your business and make people feel appreciated in other ways besides being, quote, equity partners in a potentially valueless business. And a business could still cash flow a lot of business. It could cash flow a lot of money. It could be making a lot of money, but not be worth anything to sell to somebody, right? Because again, if everybody stopped working today, the business would stop making money. Whereas like an insurance company, the reason why those businesses are so valuable, because people are paying those, they have to pay those bills. Netflix, it's valuable because people pay that every month. They don't want to lose that. So my opinion would be, I'd rather be a solopreneur. I'd rather not have a partner, and I'd rather figure out ways to incentivize people on the team with more money, less liability, right? And then also try to see if I can form a team that can reach that 10x level, right? Without bringing somebody in. Because the problem with having a partner too is that you bring a partner in and then they stop holding their weight, and then you become resentful. There's a lot of issues with small business multi-ownership. It's not the same as a privately held company that has a board and lots of accountability. It literally is like a marriage with two people, and that can be tricky. 70% of marriages end in divorce in America. And I don't have the stats on business partnerships, but the point is that they take a lot of work just to maintain the dynamic between two people. And if you can remove that, at least for early in your career, and figure out how to incentivize people without giving them equity, that's what I think you should do.
That was a solid, detailed entrepreneur answer. That was that was full on. And I mean, I did the partnership thing too, right? And one of the things I said when that ended was that I would never ever do that again. And actually, the profit sharing thing you mentioned there is actually, I mean, that's a really solid way to go, right? I would just, the biggest thing that for me was, like you said, that resentment from somebody not carrying their weight and that kind of thing happening. That was pretty much the situation I was in. And it's almost like a trauma. I think about this all the time. Like this, I look at it as one of the worst things I ever did, because I still get letters from the IRS and stuff from things that this guy went and did that he screwed up, and the amount of money that I lost in the process. And so I said I would never ever do this again. So I would be on that 100% side of this too, just because I've had that bad experience. But like you said, there's a lot of cool ways, I think, to structure it differently, so that way there is more accountability, and you can have a successful, business where you have somebody who's like a partner, but they're not like somebody you're married to.
Look, I've done this. I've done this successfully in Legendary for nearly 8 years. So, I mean, the Legendary is a 9-figure revenue business. It's generated nine. Am I right there? Am I right with that? 9 figures, $100 million in sales. Is that 9?
Yeah, that's 9 figures. Yeah.
9-figure business. Think about this for a second. It's generated 9 figures in revenue collected. Not accounts receivable or something like that. And it's all been with this blueprint that I'm talking about right here. And the cool thing is that can be adjusted. I usually always have run in the past, these sort of things at the beginning of the year, and you run them through the end of the year, right? Because then, or if you want to run it halfway through the year, you want to start it anytime you can. But there's so many other ways to get people to buy in, to take ownership, to feel ownership inside of your company, inside of your business, inside of your mission, than to give them equity. Start with recognition. Start with pay. Start with bonuses or bonus plans or profit sharing or giving away awards and recognition. I've given away Rolex watches, Ryan. That right? That's awesome. That's a great way to show people. I mean, especially if you have somebody who, you have people who, look, most people have, not if you will have people who have been underappreciated and undervalued. And so, a lot of you think that, oh, well, I need to have a business partner and give away equity, when it's like, hey, look, give somebody a bonus and a nice gift of some sort for recognition. Now, when I say nice gift, a Rolex is not a nice gift. That's a fucking legendary gift. Most nice gifts that people get that they would be thankful for would be like, gift cards or a laptop or something like this. I mean, you want to go crazy, you want to get people to really be motivated, then start giving out better awards, start giving out Rolexes, things of this nature. There's ways that you can increase somebody's wealth and net worth besides giving them equity in your company, which likely is not, especially at the beginning stage, is going to increase their net worth, right? But you give them bonuses, you give them a watch that holds its value, you give them a profit sharing, let them decide how they want to invest their money. That employee or that potential equity partner might at the end come out just as good. Now, this doesn't go for a company that is going to be sold, that has value, or that's going to go public. That's a little bit of a different kind of company. We're not really teaching how to take companies public here in Legendary. We're teaching more how to run a lifestyle business, a business that's based and built around your passion and helping people in selling and sharing knowledge. And most knowledge-based businesses are not businesses that you're going to take public and have a big, IPO or something, and it's going to be on the New York Stock Exchange or something. We are talking about privately held businesses here, just to be clear. And mini masterclass on that. I'll stop. Maybe we'll take another question here.
Yeah, we definitely can. I mean, you went into good detail on that though, and I think it was incredible. So thank you for doing that. We do have other topics that we could dive into here, so you should be able to see the wheel here. I'm gonna hit the little spin button again, and we'll see what we get. It does have a little bit of a sound to it too, but it's kind of goofy and it drags on, so I turn that off. We're right on the cusp there. Okay. Know every detail. Would you rather know every detail of your most successful competitors or read the mind of every person that views your products?
Oh, read the mind of every person that views your products, hands down.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. Because the competitor, whatever they're doing, if I read the mind of the customers or the person that's viewing the products, I know exactly what they're thinking, at whether they like it or whether they don't like it. I know what changes I can make immediately to start acquiring the majority of the people that look at my page. Is the way I interpret that.
Yeah, and looking at a competitor and trying to build your business based off of what a competitor is doing and always looking at other people is a surefire way to constantly second guess yourself, constantly feel like you're out of control. You need to feel in control in your business. This is one of the biggest things that I think is not talked about, is the feeling of being in control or out of control. And when you're always chasing something or trying to, copy something or follow somebody, it's kind of like, oh, gotta go, oh, look, it's this out of control feeling. Whereas when you are focused on your business, and there is ways to get in the mind of your customer. There is ways. Let's pull that question back up just so everybody can see what we are answering here. There are ways to be creative with getting information from your potential customers. You can talk to them. You can call them, right? I mean, one part of this is realistic, another is not realistic. And I just want to point out the part that's realistic, that you actually can read the mind of every customer that you, or a lot of customers. You don't need to know what every customer thinks, but you can talk to people, you can email people, you can ask them for feedback. You're never going to be able to do that with a competitor. You're never going to be able to call your competitor and say, give me every detail, right? But you can. This is not a powerless wishing that question. This is what actually do I have the capability to do? And it's to actually get inside on social media. Instead of just pitching people, ask them what called you to message me? What's been the reason why you followed me? What is most interesting to you about what I've been saying? What stands out? I mean, there's so many different ways by asking questions, which I realized a couple of years ago I was not that good at. I was good at just kind of talking, teaching, selling. I had sort of worked that muscle out so much. And so many of you know, back in March of 2020, we started Wake Up Legendary and started interviewing people. And I started to interview over 1,000 clients now on the show. You can go back and listen to those interviews. That kind of, man, you listen to those interviews, you know exactly, what people were thinking. So that was really cool for me. And all of you have that same capability. So I would both choose to read the mind of every person that views my products, but I also think that we have the capability to also do that where we don't with the other.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd pick the same thing. And I think it wasn't really like when I started getting into some sales related stuff, like right after I started my business, I started kind of selling my own products as opposed to just being a social media marketer. That's when I first started to learn that I really didn't know anything about my customer. And I think it's something marketers actually overlook too far too often, because the best way to get feedback and to get their opinion and to learn about them is to just ask for it directly, right? And then see what answer you get, and just make it easy for them, right? Have them. That's like when you see these 5-star review, right? Would you like to rate us? And this thing pops up, and then it asks you to leave a comment, and most of the time we just close it out. But that not being there means you're getting nothing, right? And then you can, so having a little thing like that, not that we should put that on our funnels or anything, is not what I'm saying, but it's just pointing out an example. Having something like that is just the best way to do it. It's just a really simple way. When I started doing like sales calls, now I'm talking to people. So now I'm starting to learn a lot of information that I just had no idea, right? I had no idea that I was, the type of people that I was, attracting, and the type of people that were coming and finding my content and going through my funnel. I just didn't know anything about them. Like, I had this opinion in my head of what kind of people they were, but once I started talking to them, it changed that, which altered the way that I would do my marketing in a very positive way, right? I almost feel like I feel kind of dumb when I think about it, because I feel like up until that happened, I always felt like I should be talking, I don't know how to describe it, but like talking down in a way. And then after that, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I putting myself on some kind of level higher than these people I'm trying to talk to? That is totally the wrong thing to do. And then I adjusted my marketing accordingly, right? I adjusted my messaging, the way I would present. And I was still I was still learning how to present myself at that time. I was still learning how to perform on social media and how to show up and what kind of character I wanted to be and the reputation I wanted to have and all that good stuff. So but my point is, you learned a whole lot of stuff as soon as I started, actually interacting with people. And again, if you have ways that you're kind of asking them for that information, which isn't hard to do, you could ask them to reply to an email. You could ask them to say something in the comments. You could ask them to send me a private message and just let me know your thoughts. You could be as harsh or as nice as you want, right? You could do all of these things so that way people can easily respond to you or tell you what they might want to tell you directly, especially in private, right? I would say in private for sure. Or you could even have a Google form. It doesn't matter. But, what people will say in private can be very, very enlightening, as opposed to what they may or just may decide never to say in some sort of a public setting unprovoked.
Or customer support. I mean, a lot of times people will say something to customer support. There's ways as your company grows to find and figure out what people are saying, what their complaints are. They also vote with their wallet. A lot of times human nature is pretty simple. They show signs, people's behavior. I think this is one of the things that I want, the final thought I want to end on this question is that you can tell everything about a person by their behavior, right? And that's why some of the old marketing teachers, some of the folks that were teaching and doing marketing even before I came along, said, don't survey your customers, right? They don't know what they want. You need to tell them what they want. And so part of marketing is listening to your customers, but not listening to them and letting them drive the wheel. You need to be the one with the vision. You need to be the one who knows their problem and has the solution. You can't be flip-floppy. Oh, I'm here. I just want to make some money. Whatever you say, I'll do, or whatever, right? You don't want to be that. You got to have a spine. You got to have some solid footing that you're standing under. So we're asking, we're looking for feedback, but we're not doing it in a way that is allowing our customers to determine our every decision that we make. We need to have a vision. We need to know their problem, know our solution, and be willing to present that solution over and over again until they get it. And oftentimes they will get it, even though they're not acting yet. They're not clicking or buying. And sometimes they just need that, as many old, sales, gurus have said, 7 to 10 exposures. Sometimes they need that. Ryan. I don't know about you, but sometimes things just look better and better the more I see them. It's kind of like sitting in a bar. It's like, well, I guess she is kind of pretty at 2 a.m. No.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, Abbott up there in the top corner, he's growing on me. That little banner ad we got, the more he keeps flashing at me up there.
Right, right. The more appropriate example would be just like going. It's like if you're single, right? Hopefully you're single and this is happening, but you go into your office or whatever, and it's like eventually, like it's like somebody gets married to their office mate, and it's like, yeah, I would have never, like, I didn't really see them like that at first, right? But they grew on me, or that saying of somebody growing on you is applies here. It applies to sales and marketing. It is sales and marketing. Do you understand that, guys? Everything is sales and marketing. Every all attraction, all influence, all persuasion, it is sales and marketing. And so part of that marketing is staying in front of somebody until they're like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try.
Yeah.
And then you win.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like a TV show that you don't like at first, but it's always on, and then eventually it just kind of gets you, so you start watching it. And I'll be honest with you, it's almost kind of happening for me with like football a little bit. I've never really been into it. I've never been one to sit down and put the game on, but
I know you've got something juicier to say, okay? And I thought you were going to say it, you didn't. So what I thought you were going to say, Ryan, because I also know Rebecca, I thought you were going to give the example that the dating shows were growing on you. Is that true?
Well, I wasn't going to bring that one up. Well, they're growing on me for reasons that, yeah, they're growing on me for entertainment factor. I do kind of enjoy a little bit of the drama and the BS on there to a degree.
Love it.
There's certain ones, yeah, there's certain people on certain shows that, like, all right, let me watch it, let me get updated, see what's going on. Like, I don't know if she watches the 90-Day Fiance, and they got the Gino and the Jasmine is the one couple on there. I'm sure somebody in the comment knows.
Give us all the details. We know you know all the details.
But this guy, I mean, I love watching this guy, because this guy is like, every time you see him, he's like doing something goofy, or he's saying something stupid, or he's,
which one is it? Maybe now I want to watch.
Yeah. If all you got to do is type in 90-Day Gino and Jasmine, I guarantee you're going to find it. But this guy, he's got like, I don't even know what country she's from, but it's like, he's got this supermodel looking woman. This guy is like your typical 60-year-old bald-headed guy that you wouldn't look twice at. And it's like, and this guy is giving this woman a harder time than anything you've ever seen before. And it's a dynamic where I'm like, dude, if you screw this up, man, you're never going to have anything like what you have now again, ever, without a doubt. And I mean, all these shows are all in the past. So I've already looked, and I'm like, I know they split up, and I'm like, dude, you're such an idiot. But anyways, but it's funny to me. It's funny to me watching this whole thing just crash and burn. So that's why I'm really into it. But anyway, is that what you wanted? You wanted me to kind of just over a dating show?
Oh, I love it. All right, next question. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give it a spin here. Let's see what we get. Okay, let's see where we're going to stop. Yellow we made it to the yellow. Okay. Would you rather be an early adopter in a fast-growing industry but risk failure, or a latecomer in a proven market but face stiff competition?
God, this is so easy. This is so easy, but I'm wondering what you all think. What do you all think? Seriously, in the comments, what do you think? It's so easy to me. So easy to me. What do you guys think? Is this easy to you? Here's what I do. Latecomer in a proven market, man, all day long. Latecomer in a proven market. Now, why? Why? We're all doing it right now. We're all doing it right now. You think affiliate marketing, you think all this that we're doing is like an early adopter? No. It's not. It's not. See, that's the problem. Everybody thinks that in order to get rich, you got to be an early adopter. You don't. Now, I understand. It's right. It's not. You're not right or wrong. I'm just saying that for me, if I look at a market, if I look at a business and I see no competition, I see no path that's already blazed. It's sort of like AI right now, right? There's some people that are blazing the path of AI, and instead I'm staying in a proven market, just using AI to continue to expand and grow my already proven business in a proven market. If you look at a niche, for example, and there's no competition, there's nobody doing anything there yet, then you haven't found gold. Somebody's already been there and realized that it wasn't profitable, that it wasn't a great niche to be in. Here's the other thing to think about, is that if you can't win big and if you can't succeed in a proven market, and there is no late coming to a proven market, in my opinion. Proven markets are always getting disrupted, and they're evolving and they're improving, and people are bringing new sort of like, would you call Netflix a new market? Streaming, is that a new market? Maybe not. I mean, it's just shows that's being delivered in a different way. People have always watched shows on TV. So all they're doing is just being brought to you in a new way. And so understand that the way in which we do things is going to change. For example, they used to only be able to sell courses via direct mail because the internet didn't exist. But now we're still selling courses and we're selling information. We're just doing it through Instagram, Facebook, all that. So it's like once you understand the foundational elements of the business, which this business, the core four, selling information, it's really quite a simple model. Then you just use all these other sort of new inventions to continue to grow your business. But instead of getting into something, this is a real hot button too with MLM, right? And a lot of new people, they say this is a ground floor opportunity. The problem is it's not a ground floor opportunity really, because when you bring it to people, the first thing they say is this an MLM? It's not new. It's not new, right? Oh, but the product, this, that. No, not really. People say things are ground floor. They say things are, you could be first, but the reality is that your best bet is to be slow, is to grow slow, grow boring, grow safely, grow consistently. Let me give you an example. Instead of looking for that overnight early adopter big win, let me give you an example. This is not financial advice. It's personal investing experience. When I look at investing money into some sort of a stock or an equity, I can do one of two things. I can either play Russian roulette with one stock, or I can put my money into a index fund that is going to grow slower, but it's a safer kind of more long-term investment that spreads my risk out to, if I buy an index fund, a share of the S&P 500, I get a bread basket of all the stocks. It's going to be a lower, slower growth, but over the past 100 years, the S&P 500 has grown 10% on average each year. Now, I could take my money and I could say, you know what? I'm betting it all on Tesla. Elon's in the White House. I mean, this guy's, look, we're going to the moon, right? He's basically best buds with Trump. Well, guess what? I actually did buy Tesla. Just recently, I bought a bunch of Tesla, and it's down 25% right now, right? But my S&P 500 stock is up like 3%. The number one rule of investing is don't lose money. That's per Warren Buffett. So the number one rule of your business needs to also to not lose money, to not take risks that you can't recover from. And a lot of times when people try to put all their eggs in the basket of an early adopter, or I'm going to abandon what I'm doing because there's a shiny ground floor opportunity, you throw it all away. And I've seen it happen so many times to great new marketers. You get about a year or two under your belt, and it's like, oh, there's a new shiny object over here. There's a new ground floor opportunity. I'm seeing it right now. TikTok shop, this, that. Imagine if you guys would have abandoned an affiliate marketing or a brand business, go do TikTok shop, and then TikTok got shut down. Boom. And some of you have momentum. So my point here is entrepreneurship already comes with a ton of risk. It is your high risk investment. So be savvy in terms of the risk versus the reward is more my point. And if you are going to go into a ground floor opportunity, for example, I've got some stocks that I do know about, okay, that I'm watching, that I think are going to do well. Pulse Biosciences is actually one of them. It's a stock nobody would ever think of, right? But I know a few things about the stock, and I know some people that are involved, and I believe in those people. And that would be an example of a stock that I might say, I believe in this, but I'm going to just put a portion of my effort, energy, or investment into it, and I'm going to keep the main thing the main thing. And so my preference for me and everybody else would be to find the safer, find the entrepreneurship doesn't, everybody always says entrepreneurship is a risk, whereas having a job, a 9-to-5 is safe. That's not true. That's not true. You can also start a business in a safe way too, right? And my point here is to understand that the low, slow, long grow is ultimately better than trying to find something that's ground floor. So keep that in mind, because those shiny objects are going to come up all the time in your journey, and you need to be aware of the consequences if you abandon the thing that's not you're like, you want it to grow faster, but it's not supposed to grow faster. It's supposed to grow consistently over time. What we want is fast, blow up overnight. Cryptocurrency, fucking to the moon. And that's fine with like 2% of your energy or investment. And if it grows, fine, follow it. But if not, don't abandon what you have that is growing a little bit slower and may seem too slow, but might just be growing at a nice, healthy rate.
Yeah. Wow, that was really powerful. And I think too, like there's a lot of, like, one of those myths out there is that, or maybe it's not a myth, depends how you word it, but like it's kind of a thing that people believe, like, oh, it's too competitive. If I go in, it's saturated. I'm not going to make it, right? And that's kind of like a common thing. And then that early adopter side of it is sort of, oh, this is a new thing. It's kind of that shiny object. It's that thing that looks more appealing, feels more attractive. But I kind of, for me, it goes back to what you've said when you do your finance talk, which is that all of my risk is in my business, and then I have to make sure I don't lose the money, right, with your investment. So you're investing it, but even into that business, you need it to be a cash cow. So you might as well go into something that's safe, that's going to work, that's going to get you the results, as opposed to just, right, that would be like that early adopter, be like that really risky business. You know what I mean? That would be that really, it says it right there in the question, right? Your risk failure.
Risky, yeah. What are you risking? You got to ask yourself what you're risking. Like one of the most important things that people don't realize they're risking is their time, in their brain space. So it's not always just about money. It can be about time. It can be about other things that you're risking. You just got to be more calculated and realize that entrepreneurship doesn't have to be risky. Entrepreneurship is risky. Like when you watch like Kitchen Nightmares, anybody watch that with Gordon Ramsay, and he like goes into a kitchen or a restaurant, and the owners are like, have let the business go for like 10 years. It's $500,000 in debt. they have some sort of sentimental attachment to the business. Like that's when business gets risky and dangerous, but it doesn't have to be like that, right? The reason why I love this business so much, folks, is because I could start it with pretty much next to nothing out of pocket. The education that you're buying, if you're buying education from Legendary, is not to start your business. It's to learn how to be more successful and effective in your business, right? But the bottom line is you can start the business. You don't have to buy air fryers, ovens. You don't have to make a huge, franchise investment or something like that. It's actually, you can actually get started in this business minus any training or coaching you're purchasing, with next to nothing out of pocket, low to no cost tools and so forth. And I've always loved those businesses. I've always loved businesses because honestly, there's so much less risk in this, and there's so much more upside in this particular business of selling information online. If you're successful with this, or when you're successful with this, you won't even want to go chasing shiny, high risk ground floor things, because you'll realize that, you'll start to look at business opportunities different and say, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to start a business or spend a bunch of money to do something. I see the value of being able to start an affiliate marketing business with next to nothing out of pocket. It's just, there's not a whole lot of other businesses out there that are like that. So we're really fortunate in that respect. And I try not to add extra unneeded risk when I don't need to.
Yeah. It's interesting to see too, like one thing that's happened for me, you see a lot of people that they're like dabbling in like 5 things, right? They've got all these different things going on. They got this business and that business and this side hustle. And they're doing this on the side. And that's fine. It's one thing, if like to have a job and then you do something on the side or whatever. But as I've gotten better and better and better at this business and more immersed into this industry, my desire to get into other things has gone way, way, way down, because I've seen the value of this particular business model and seen the value of this industry. So now, having had that experience firsthand, no longer do I even have the desire to try to research or figure out what are the other things, as opposed to in the beginning where I was like, man, I could be a day trader. I could be on Amazon FBA. I could do a Shopify drop shipping thing. And it's like all this stuff looks and sounds so good, until I got the experience with something that actually does work for me and works really well. And for me to kind of even look at other opportunities now, it's like, well, is it going to be worth my time to put it into trying to figure that out? Or is my time better spent just continuing to do the thing that I know works?
Yep.
And maybe that leads to me missing out on some major growth opportunity one day, but it's also going to lead to me missing out on a lot of wasted time in the process. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a wash.
Yes.
Or I'm even up. I'm ahead on that, right? So I'm not looking to waste a bunch of time, because that's going to cause losses here, right? And so it's interesting to experience a perspective shift like that. I've noticed myself, like in my reasoning when it comes to things, even if it's something like a vacation, right? Like, well, we go on vacation and we go places and it's like, oh man, this is such a nice place. The view is beautiful. Wow. And I don't care. I'd rather be at home working on my business, because this time I'm spending here, I know time and time again, when I get back from this vacation, this will mean nothing to me. And that doesn't have to be right. That's a me thing, that I'm not bragging on anybody else. If you like your vacations, you like to travel, do it. Right. But I'm here, like if I'm up here looking at Mount Rushmore or the Grand Canyon, I don't care about it. And that's just me, right? That's just my thing, right? And I almost start to feel like, wow, okay, I got cool pictures, but like I have to get cool pictures and videos for me to have some kind of ROI on the experience. Otherwise, it just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it to me. So, and for me,
that nowadays, it's so weird, dude. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like a couple of things I can relate to there. I mean, even though the working thing, yeah, like vacation is good. If you, I think like for me, travel is good. Vacation is good if I can totally disconnect. But if I can't, then what's the reason for being there? And honestly, I don't travel and go on vacation that much because I live in a place that people vacation at, and I'm blessed in that way, right? I know my blessings. I mean, we've actually finally got some warm weather now, but it's actually sunny out now. So sunny, I couldn't get a crisp picture, but I get it, man. And in your early stages of your business, and even in later stages of your business, in planning your life, I think it's important to kind of ask yourself, what is important to you? Is there ways? I think there's ways to travel and do all of those things without, or to get experiences, to get time off. It's like, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for time off? Are you looking to get away? Are you right? Because there's other ways to meet these needs. And I also think about early stages of the business, making certain sacrifices, and not traveling as much, right? Keeping your expenses down a little bit lower, even than they were before you started the business, especially if you want to quit your job. I think this whole thing of traveling the world, especially as internet marketers, in quote coffee shop entrepreneurs and stuff, it gets glamorized and glorified to where if you're not traveling the world, you're not successful. That's bullshit. I take my kids to school every day. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in a pair of sweatpants at my kitchen table right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing tons of speaking engagements and traveling. I don't give a shit about a private jet because I don't fly that much. Right. I mean, I just downgraded my actual SUV from a Mercedes G63 AMG to a Cadillac Escalade. It's the V Escalade, but it's got TVs for my kids, and it's got more space, and it's more family friendly. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that are a priority for me. And we all have to look at what our priorities are. And I love that you shared that honestly. And I love that's who you are, and you know who you are, dude. And it helps so much. So that was awesome, dude. I appreciate you bringing me out here for this little game. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of it as well. I will let you wrap up, brother, and I'll see you on the next episode. Okay.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing all the insight. There we go. Now it's me. All right, my friends. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I thought this was really cool. We got a whole bunch more questions on this wheel we didn't even have a chance to get to yet. So maybe I could do a little recycle of the ones we have, and we will bring this back sometime in the future. I think it's a cool way to switch things up where we both don't know what's coming our way. So that's a little bit, that's really, really interesting. If you're somebody who's been hanging out on this meeting and you've been sitting here with us, and you've been watching these calls, but you haven't jumped into our training yet, I don't know what it's going to take to push you over the edge, but go check that out. You go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll. You'll see all our products there. You'll see our 5-day challenge, our confidence challenge, even our mastermind and our business blueprints. So we'd love to have you, and you're more than welcome to go and take a look at that. We're going to be back here again tomorrow. So guys, feel free to pop on in at 10 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be here to teach you some stuff and entertain you and fulfill that need and scratch that itch for you. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Get on out of here, and we'll see you soon.